This video, viewers, is not about any information, any gains or losses of the parties to the ongoing conflict in Ethiopia. This video is about some questions which I'll ask. What is the duty of an army? What is the duty of Ethiopian National Defense Force? What is the duty of Tigray Defense Force, regional forces? And what is the duty of Amhara regional force? Do these militaries and regional forces only protect territories, or they protect and provide safety to civilians as well? As far as I can understand, armies, forces, they protect territories and civilians. It's not that Ethiopian National Defense Force would only defend Ethiopian territories. It will protect civilians as well. In the same way, it's not that TDF would only protect Tigray's borders. It would ensure safety and security of the people living in Tigray as well. Now, second question. Can you send an ill-equipped, poorly trained civilian to a battlefront? Should you do that? Should any army do that? And can you train a soldier in 1 or 2 weeks? Well, all parties to Tigray conflict, Ethiopian National Defense Force, regional forces of Amhara, Oromia, Tigray Defense Force, they are recruiting civilians in regional forces, in federal force as well. These poorly trained, ill-trained, I would say, civilians are being sent to battlefronts. These regional forces and federal forces are meant to protect civilians. They are meant to protect the lives and the properties of civilians. Instead, they are recruiting civilians. They are training them for 1, 2, 3 weeks, just teaching them how to shoot, how to fire, and sending them to battlefronts. Has anyone condemned it so far? We keep on discussing the advance of Ethiopian National Defense Force, the advance of Tigray Defense Force, the retaking of territories by Amhara Regional Force. No one is questioning that they are using civilians as cannon fodder. All are accusing each other of using civilians as cannon fodder. But all are doing that, viewers. No one is protecting civilians. Wars are fought by armies, by soldiers. Civilians help armies. Because wars are fought by armies. Trained soldiers, seasoned generals. Their profession is this fighting in war. They fight wars. Civilians cannot fight war on battlefronts. If you send civilians to battlefronts, you are endangering their lives. Yes, civilians can play a role. They can help armies in sending supplies. But you should not send them to battlefront. It does not happen, viewers. This is the first war over the past 2 years, which I have covered, where I'm seeing that civilians are being sent to war fronts. Indoctrinated civilians who think they are fighting for their nation, fighting for their community, and they are happily going to battlefronts and they're getting killed. All of you must raise your voice for the protection of civilians. Wars should be fought by armies, by trained soldiers, by generals, by colonels, not by these civilians. All the parties to Tigray conflict, Tigray Defense Force, Amhara Regional Force, Oromia Regional Force, Ethiopian National Defense Force, all of you are duty bound to protect civilians. You cannot send ill-trained, ill-equipped civilians to war fronts. Again, Tishagar said, we will make this war public. What do you mean by that? You are endangering the lives of civilians. Amhara side says TDF is sending swarms of civilians to battlefront. I would request you, all of you, please rise above your loyalties. Your loyalties with your ethnic groups, with the country. Call for the protection of civilians. Civilians are not trained to fight on battlefronts. They are not combatants, they are civilians. And you should not just train them for 1 or 2 weeks and send them to battlefronts. No one can be trained to fight a war in just 1 or 2 weeks. It does not happen, viewers. You do not send your civilians to the forefront in a war. That's lethal for them. Some viewers might not like this video, but it breaks my heart when I see thousands of civilians getting killed. They are not soldiers. They have been turned into combatants in just 2, 3, 4 weeks by training them, and they are getting killed. Who is going to answer, viewers? I would request all of you, please raise your voice for the protection of civilians. This war should be fought by armies. There should be talks, negotiations. If you cannot agree to a resolution, please fight this war on your own. Do not involve civilians. Protect civilians. They need your protection. They don't need military training to go to battlefronts. I thank you for watching.